Howdy all, lovely to see you again. I had a bunch of requests for I'm Broken by Pantera. I finally learned it, so let's enjoy the lesson. Let's take a look. Okay guys, the tuning for this song is a little bit strange. It's in C sharp standard, but it's sort of slightly a quarter sharp. So what we want to do is get into C sharp standard, which is C sharp, F sharp, B, E, G sharp, another C sharp at the bottom. And what I've done to this is tuned it all a quarter sharp. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first section. I want to start off with a big bend on 14 of the 3rd string. And then whilst I'm sustaining that, I'm playing 15 of the 2nd and then another bend on 14 of the 3rd. Okay, then we're working to this next phrase. Now you notice that my pointer finger is staying on 12 of the 1st, my pinky's on 15 of the 2nd, and then I'm bending that 14 on the 3rd string, and we want them all to ring into each other. So when I get to the top of that 3rd string, I'm doing that bend. And I play those 3 strings again, but I just want to sustain that bend and hit it again, so I go. And add some light vibrato to that if you want. So this is what we should have thus far from the top, a little slower. And we're working to this phrase. What I'm doing at the start of that is I'm sliding, a relatively big slide into 12 of the 3rd. Then I hit 14 of the 2nd string twice, and then jump back to 12 of the 3rd. And then I want to play 15 of the 2nd, 12 of the 3rd, 14 of the 2nd, and then 12 of the 3rd again. So I go. And then it'll go. So it pretty much just does that 15, 12, 14, 12 phrase twice. I guess the only difference is on the second time you hit the 14, 12 part, just give it a bit of delicious vibrato. So it'll go 15, 14, 15, 14. Let's try the whole section a little bit slower with the tabs. Okay, this next section is quite redundant, so be very patient with it. We want to start off with a pull-off from 17 to 12 on the 1st, and then 15 to 12 on the 1st. Okay, then I jump to 17 to the 2nd, and then back down to 12 of the 1st. Okay, then from there I work into this. So what I've got here is 2 pull-offs from 15 to 12 on the 1st string. I jump to 17 of the 2nd string rather, and then back down to the 12 on the 1st. So that little bit a bit slower. All together thus far. Okay, then the next bit I pick all the notes. We'll be playing 12 of the 1st, and then 16, 15, 12 on the 2nd. So all together a little bit slower. First little chunk. Let's move on to the second one. I'm going to borrow a lot of the ideas we have on the 1st string and bring that up to the 2nd string and the 3rd. So what I'm going to do here is this. It's pretty much exactly the same thing as what we had at the start. I'll go through it and you'll see the relationship. We want to go 17 to 12 as a pull-off, and then 15 to 12 as a pull-off on the 2nd string, then 17 of the 3rd, and then back down to 12 of the 2nd. Very similar as you can see, and then we go. And that's exactly the same as well. So I'm doing 2 pull-offs from the 15 to 12 on the 2nd string, and then jumping to 17 of the 3rd. And then back down to the 12 on the 2nd string. So from the 2nd string, this is how much we should have of this little phrase. Then to finish that off, I go. I've got a pull-off from 13 to 12 on the 2nd, and then I'm plucking 15, 12 on the 3rd. Let's try the whole thing thus far from the start, and then we'll add the last couple of chunks to it. Okay, then we're working to this. This one's nice and easy. It's a little bit shorter. I'm doing a pull-off from 15 to 12, and then 2 pull-offs from 13 to 12. So we go. And the next bit that I do is just 15 to 12, both picked on the 3rd string. So we go. After that, I work into this phrase. This is a little bit strange because it's a bit confusing doubling up on the 12 of the 2nd and then the 16 of the 3rd. This really screwed me up, so take your time with it. What I'm going to do is a pull off from 13 to 12 on the 2nd and then jump to the 16 of the 3rd. Then I jump back down to that 12 again. And as soon as I get back, I'm working down this little phrase. So I'm going 16, 15, 14, and then 12. 16, 15, 14, 12, and then it goes into this. Got a bit of Cowboys to it, I think. So we're going, what I'm doing here is playing 14 twice on the 3rd and then jumping to 12 of the 3rd, then playing 14 of the 4th, and then I play 2 12s and then an 11 on the 3rd string, and jump to 12 of the 4th. So at the end of that I hit 11 twice on the 3rd and then slide to 7. All together. Let's try the whole section a bit slower with the tabs now. Take a look at the 3rd section. I'm going to start off with a slide from 5 to 7 on the 5th. And then what I'm doing there is a hammer on from 5 to 7 into a slide on the 4th string. And then I do a hammer on from 7 to 9 on the 3rd. And then a big bend up, a full tone from 8 of the 2nd. Then you'll notice there I'm hitting a squeal and then just bringing that 8 bend down. And then at the end of that, I'm doing a pull off on the 3rd string from 9 to 7 and then coming back to that 9 and picking it again. And then just catching that harmonic there. So. Okay, now what we're following that up with is this. So I do a big slide into 16 of the 3rd and then hit 17 of the 2nd. And I play 16 of the 3rd again, and then 19 of the 2nd. And I do 16 of the 3rd again, and then 20 of the 2nd. I hit 16 again, and I do a tone and a half bend on 20 of the 2nd. So all together. And if you've got a whammy, add a little bit of vibrato to that on your right hand. So let's try the whole section again a little slower with the tab. This last section is a tad abrasive, and I apologise for my lack of whammy once again, so I'll be sort of teaching you the cheater's way, but if you guys have whammy, you can probably find ways to just play this without bending as much. So what I want to do for the start of this is start on 18 of the 1st string and then be bending 18 of the 2nd. And I do this exactly the same idea on 19 as well. So we go, do exactly the same thing twice, and then I go. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing 21 of the first 2 and then sliding that back to 16. And then I slide it back to 21 again, sort of go. Then when I slide it back that last time, I want to end with a vibrato on 18 of the 1st string. So thus far, this is what we should have. Okay, then I go into this. It's a big vibrato on 22 of the 1st string, and then I work into this. So what I'm doing essentially is the same thing 3 times, it's just the last one builds up a little bit further. So those little triplets, the group of 6, no it isn't, it's 4 notes. We're going to be looking at 2 groups of 4 3 times. I want to be playing 15, 16, 17, and then 19 of the second string. It will be sort of chromatic fingering, I guess. You'll need to use all 4 fingers. So 15, 16, 17, 19. Then a very similar idea, but then we've got a gap between 15 and 17 on the first. This one goes 15, 17, 18, 19. So next to each other with the gap for the pinky, and then the gaps between the pointer and the middle on the first string. So all together, I'm going to do that 3 times. Now the reason why I use the ring on the last one is it sort of slows down and starts to stagger a bit, and then we're building up to that last bend. If I use my pinky, I'm screwed. So what I want to do is when I get to that last one, 15, 16, 17, 19, all the same. And we start to stagger a little bit, and then it'll go 20, 21, 22, and then a bend. So there's 2 notes on that 22, just a regular and then the bend. So we're going to go. Let's try the whole section again a little bit slow with the tab. And that was the I'm Broken solo. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Catch you real soon.